Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan. And the topic of this 10-minute moan is a cartoon description which has really set off some of the SNP leaders and their followers. So before I start with the story, people often ask, how can I support the channel? Well, you can become a member or you can subscribe, which is free, or very, very simple, click the thumbs up, does wonders for the reach. So this story ran by the Scottish Daily Express. Furious Nats are raging at a newspaper cartoon showing SNP leaders hanging from a noose. Maybe not the greatest way to depict folk. However, the cartoon by the award-winning Peter Brooks has sparked an angry reaction from the likes of Peter Wishart, Kelly Given, and even Kirsten Decapitate Terfs Oswald. SNP politicians and high-profile supporters have called for a cartoon published in the Times to be taken down and an apology issued by the newspaper. The satirical take by Peter Brooks, CBE, who has won British Press Awards Cartoonist of the Year 8 times, shows Alex Salmond, Nicola Sturgeon and Hamza Yousaf hanging from noose fashioned round the SNP logo. John Swinney is walking into the frame saying, "I'm the continuity candidate." As we reported earlier, Scots journalist Andrew Neil praised the tune on an X as brilliant, and if he was hoping for a reaction from the SNP, then he got one. Veteran MP Pete Wishart replied, "This is the level of unionist discourse just now. Absolutely disgusting, and we deserve so much better than this." I'm not really sure if you do, to be honest with you, mate. Your party's stinking. SNP member Kelly Given, who is frequently called on to defend the party in BBC Scotland, responded, "Not brilliant. So many activists and elected politicians receive daily threats to their safety and security, and at times threats to their life. This is distasteful and should be removed and an apology issued." She's obviously angry. I'll scroll down. Former SNP Westminster leader Ian Blackford also claimed in tweeting, "Satire and cartoons are part of our political life, and, of course, this can be edgy. However, this crosses a line. It is offensive and does nothing to foster respectful debate. I'm surprised by the Times, who should both withdraw and apologise for this." I'm not sure how this doesn't foster respectful debate from a party in Scotland who slaughter every other party. However, an East Renfrewshire MP, Kirsten Oswald, also called for the Times to somehow remove a cartoon from the internet. Yeah, a bit difficult. She tweeted, "This is horrific. So far beneath the bottom of the barrel. Should never have been published. Needs taken down now." However, several critics called her out for her lack of contrition when appearing at a pro-trans rally in Glasgow last year, when she was pictured in front of a sign reading "Decapitate Terfs" with a crude drawing of a guillotine. Terfs, what is that? Is that people that don't think a woman can have a penis? Is that what a terf is? Like, because that would just be like normal people, I would imagine, and people who think a woman can have a penis, they would deserve, an adjective or a noun. But I'm not sure how people who don't believe it. I think that's what a TERF is. I'm 51. I'm not up to speed with all this sort of twang sometimes, right? So please forgive me. Anyway, she was quite happy with signs saying "Decapitate TERFs," but she's no too clever and happy about this, which is a bit double standards. Anyway, Scottish Daily Express commentator Alan Grant said, "Personally, I'm okay with both. But then I'm not an insipid hypocrite who only pretends to believe in free speech when it suits me." It's a fair point, because this woman was obviously okay when TERFs, whatever they are, were to get decapitated, but she's not too happy when there's descriptions and cartoons about her ex-leaders. So I kind of can get that. Brooks posted the image on his own X account, this is the artist, the cartoonist, leading to a flood of complaints, with dozens of people saying they'd reported him to the press watchdog Ipso, and one person even tagged Police Scotland. There you are. That'll sort them out. They've tagged Police Scotland. What do I think about it? I've had mental health issues in the past, and I believe a number of people who have not been as fortunate as me in getting through their health problems have committed suicide. And using a rope is unfortunately an often used measure for people with mental health issues. So I'm not too. I don't think it's fantastic, I'll be honest with you, depicting people if that was the case. However, this could be depicting them as being like a hangman's noose, which is a completely different thing to suicide. So I'm not going to get too hot and bothered when you have, other types of depictions with nooses, etc. And it's not a noose. What they've done is they've used, the SNP symbol and put their head in the middle of it as if it's a noose. So, I mean, it is meant to be a noose. So, yeah, I mean, I can sometimes get a wee bit reactory when people are, mocking suicide. I don't think this is mocking suicide at all. I think this is mocking the public getting rid of folk. I think that's what the depiction is here, because it's more like if someone was to get hung in the old days, it's more that than somebody hanging themselves. So I don't believe it to be depicting suicide, but I can understand why people would get upset. But what I find really, and I'd agree with the Scottish Daily Express commentator Alan Grant, who thinks it's a bit of a nonsense when people believe decapitating TERFs was okay, but this cartoon is somehow not okay. I think if you don't want to decapitate people or see people hung, I'm cool with that. But when you're all right with people getting decapitated, but no pretendy cartoons with people getting hung, I kind of have a problem with that. And it fascinates me that how often the SNP, their leaders, their party members, their politicians and their cult followers have double standards. The most recent being when Westminster gets a new Prime Minister, the cry has always been, that's terrible, he's unelected, the people haven't picked him yet. We are now on to our third Scottish First Minister, probably next week, of which only one faced the election and didn't win that. Was in a minority. So, I often laugh at the double standards of the SNP. I find it quite a peculiar subject to be discussing, but the whole point of me discussing it is the total hypocrisy, yet again, of the SNP, the party, the members, and more critically, this Renfrewshire parliamentary person that they've got, who wants to decapitate TERFs, but not have cartoons. Christine Oswald. So, there you go. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. If you've not already done so, please consider subscribing. And unless you are any of these knicker in the twist SNP or SNP followers, everybody else, have a great day. Cheery bye now.